అందరికీ నమస్కారం అండి. ఎలా ఉన్నారు? ఈరోజు నేను Lucky Baskhar movie review చేస్తున్నాను. This is Dulquer Salmaan's new movie. I think it came out at the end of October 31st if I'm correct. కానీ నిన్న రాత్రి నేను ఈ మూవీ చూశాను. I saw it for the very first time last night and I'm here to give you my review. Now, అందరికీ నా Ram Charan obsession గురించి తెలుసు కదా? Well, I have exactly the same obsession with Dulquer Salmaan. I love both of them so much. So, I'm sure you can probably guess how this review is going to go. I'm just kidding. I would be completely fair with any review I do. So, first of all, I think all of the acting in the movie, not just Dulquer Salmaan, but especially Dulquer Salmaan. Everyone did a really great job. I felt like I was fully immersed in the movie. I did recognize the one actor from the Nani movie, Saripoda Sanivaram. Is that what it's called? Saripoda Sanivaram. Yes. So I recognized the actor who played Nani's dad in that movie, and he was in this movie as well. There weren't a ton of songs in this movie. It was more, I think, story-driven, plot-driven, and focused. Usually there's a lot of songs in Telugu movies that break up the movie a little bit. But I think there might have only been 2 songs in this one. I think there was a love song at the beginning of the movie, and then there was also the You Lucky Baskhar. The Lucky Baskhar song was just kind of silly, and the other song was good, I think. Honestly, I would have to listen to it again. I was more focused on the story of this movie than I was with the music. So that brings me to the story of the movie. These kind of plots sometimes confuse me a little bit, especially because I'm watching it in Telugu. And my mind, whenever I'm watching a Telugu movie, my mind is always trying to listen for words and sentences and interpret them, and I think sometimes I focus too much on the words and the dialogue and trying to understand it, and then I end up having to pause it, rewind it, and watch it again just to actually absorb the context. It's just part of learning, probably. I can't turn off the trying to understand and trying to learn part of my brain when it comes to Telugu. I can't just read the subtitles, so sometimes that makes it challenging with storylines that are a little bit more complex. I wouldn't say this story was extremely complex, but I'm not super familiar with financial things, so I did have to watch some of the parts over again. I had to pause it and rewind it. But after I watched the scenes that explained things a couple of times, I understood. But it's okay. It's really never a problem if I have to rewatch scenes from a Dulquer Salmaan movie. I can watch them a few times. It's really no problem. Parvaledu. Okay, now that I got that out of my system, I can move on and talk about the plot a little bit more. So I did find this movie to be very interesting and very intriguing, actually. I loved it, and I heard that this is based, at least partially based, on a true story. Is that correct? I loved how they started him off as a very kind, poor person, very honest and hardworking. He gets money, he turns kind of arrogant, and he just wants to buy everything and show off all of his money, and gets a different kind of mentality to him. He even turns violent at one part. Well, not violent, but violent towards like an object at one part. And then he just kind of comes back down to earth, and he remembers who he is, with the help of his family, kind of reminding him that you're not really this person. And I think the money and everything, the money and the success really got to his head, and he was reminded of who he was, and he toned it down a little bit. Not to say that he still didn't end up on top, because he did. So I don't want to spoil the plot if you haven't seen the movie already, but I will say that it is a very interesting movie. I really liked it. Chala nachindi a movie. Honestly, I didn't find that there were any parts of the movie that dragged or got really boring. That might be my bias. But no, I don't think there was any parts that really dragged or got boring. I think it keeps you really thoroughly entertained the entire time. My dog is crying. I think it keeps you thoroughly entertained the entire time, and it's a really fun watch. I would definitely recommend it if you haven't seen it yet. And a side note, I did find it really impressive how well Dulquer speaks Telugu, because I know his mother tongue is not Telugu. He sounds like a native speaker to me. I even asked my husband, like, in Telugu, does he sound like a native speaker? Does he have an accent or anything? And he said no, he sounds like a native speaker. So I found that to be really impressive, because I think I will always, no matter what I do, I think I will always have an accent when I'm speaking in Telugu. And he speaks multiple languages, so I know he probably dubs his movies in several languages regularly. That's really impressive. That's really impressive to me. So anyway, to summarize, ఈ మూవీ చాలా బాగుంది. చాలా నచ్చింది. It was probably one of my favorite movies that I've seen recently. Like, really good movie. There's nothing that I could pinpoint that I didn't like, so good job. And I think I'm definitely going to watch it again. I usually watch Telugu movies more than one time, just because one time I like to get an idea of the story and try to understand as much as I can. And then the second time I watch it, I try to focus just on understanding, and I'll watch the scenes over and over. So I think this is one of those ones that I would definitely be interested in watching again to practice, just to practice. So మీకు ఈ మూవీ నచ్చిందా? Comments lo cheppandi. I'd love to hear all of your thoughts. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this little movie review. And as always, machipokandi, like cheyandi, comment cheyandi, subscribe cheyandi, share cheyandi. And until next time, bye. Malikaludam.